begin to tell you how grateful I am for this opportunity. Because when I was introduced to the opportunity, I had a really bad attitude. Really bad. And I had been in other multi-level marketing companies and all that, got really burned. And so I was, at the place that I was at, I had just gone through a really horrible divorce. And so everything around me was gone, was shattered. And I didn't know how I was going to function. I didn't know, I had lost myself in the meantime. And then I had my daughter, sweet Emma. And so I knew that situation couldn't keep going the way it was. It was extremely controlling and abusive. And I had to realize I can't let her grow up thinking this is normal. And so, so after that, I was told to leave my home. And I did. And I grabbed 2 onesies out of the dryer and the clothes on my back. And I didn't go back. So with that, I had my business. I had become a nurse. And I had my business since 2003, doing hair and makeup. And that was my passion. That's what I love to do. I love being with people. I love making them feel beautiful. I love making them, feel like they're important. And then I thought I wanted something more rewarding. And so I went into nursing, got my nursing degree, did nursing in telemetry and ICU and med-surg for a few years. But then when I had my daughter, and that's when everything changed, I couldn't go back to that. I had the option of whenever I went through my divorce and all of that, okay, I was strapped with about $70,000 worth of debt through that process, okay? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, I have to provide. It is up to me. What do I do? What do I do? And my heart, my why, is my baby. I want to be with her. I want to grow her and be at those dance recitals and be at those school functions and all that. Well, if I were to go back to nursing, that was one of my options. Those are 12-hour days. And my time is somebody else's. I miss out on holidays. I miss out on birthdays. I miss out on those dance recitals. I miss out on everything. So I decided, okay, I have to be in control of my time. That's just how it is. So I decided, I talked to my mom, and I said, Mom, I don't know what to do. Of course, every girl goes to their mom if they can, right? So I said, I don't know what to do. And so she said, you know what? Just be the best artist that you can be. And I said, okay, I'll do that. So I threw myself into my business. And I grew my team. I had 8 artists at the time. And we were on our way to being one of the best hair and makeup companies in the industry in Houston. And we won several awards, were published in several magazines, billboards, all of these things, okay? So there was success in that, but I wanted more. Because I looked at it as I'm going to have to continue to work week in, week out. I'm going to have to do faces to get paid, right? And I'm thinking, what am I going to do when I'm 70? There's no retirement plan in owning your own business, unless you really plan for it, right? But being the business owner, you're continually working. You have to think of the advertising, you have to think of the branding, you have to think of social media, you have to think of employees, you have to think of taxes, you have to think of payroll and all of that stuff, right? It's all you. So, I was talking to one of my girlfriends one day, and I had gone through several trainings because, again, I went to several classes with celebrity makeup artists and all that, and they mentioned this motives. And I was like, okay. So I started researching. I can't get it anywhere. I don't know where to get it. And so the link that I found was Instagram. And so I was like, okay, so there's Instagram. And I was talking to one of my girlfriends, telling Brittany May and Nicholas are working with this brand. It's called Motives. And I was like, okay. And she goes, but, you might want to look into it because they're really having success and they're growing and it's just amazing. And I have some of the products and they're really good. And of course, like I said, I've been burned in multi-level marketing before. It's another company, and I had the first 3 months that I worked with that company, I worked my tail off, first of all. Second of all, I did $24,000 in sales in the first 3 months. My director, or my mentor, who was supposed to be a mentor, encouraged me to take those profits and put it back into my business in inventory. It's a bummer. So she gets the car, I get to work more. It doesn't work very well. So again, I told my friend, I said, look, Jess, and she's not even in business, but she's a key player. And I said, look, I don't want anything like that, whatever. She's like, well, just see about it. So I did, and Brittany May, sweet, Nicholas, they're amazing. And she had called me several times, and finally we got on a call, three-way call with Brandy, and she said, Brandy said, you're doing this anyway. You're doing this anyway, because at the time I had 5 kids to fill, and I was spending anywhere from $800 to $1,500 a month at MAC to fill that, and I wasn't getting anything for it. It was strictly services that I was providing. So I said, okay, so I'll look at it. So we met, and through a series of events, I joined the business, and I had seen some work from one of the lines with Scott Barnes, he was my hero. And so I saw that he had worked with Motives, and I'm like, okay, well, if Scott Barnes has worked with Motives, then there's something to this, So anyway, I went through that, and I didn't get started right away. I was just using the products, and of course they were magnificent. And I found that I was able to do three faces instead of 2 in an hour. So that was a raise on my part, okay? The quality, yeah. And so I really started paying attention to this. And then finally, with everything that I had gone through, my world was crashing down, and I'm a Christian, and I believe that, I talk to God all the time. And I said, Lord, I don't know what's happening, but I want you to clean house. If they're not supposed to be in my life, I want them out of it, okay? And boy, did he. My friends were gone, my team left, I didn't have anybody, I was having to rebuild on all fronts. And then he sent me the right people at that time, the right friends that I needed. And it's just funny how, God knows what you need, okay? Even before you do. So, I talked to Brandy, and she was like, you know what, actually I was in some Nuwalk training. It was either Tom or Nick that was doing it. I remember I was sitting there with my team, Sarah, and we were sitting there, and I was like, you know what, I just need to do this. I'm just going to do this. Like, this doesn't, because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I just thought it was, okay, I can get makeup and that's it. So I did, and I got with Brandy and Tom, and I said, look, I need you to tell me how to do this, because I don't know, I've never done this before, and you have, and you're successful. So I put blinders on, and I said, I'm not going to listen to anybody but you guys. And that was at convention, because that was that was my belief. I went to Miami the first year, and I was like, this is serious business, I will never miss a convention, ever. So even when they were at a convention, anytime they stand up, I'd stand up. I didn't know who that was, but honestly, keep going, because anything they were doing, I'm doing, okay? I seriously took that serious. Because I'm not going to stray, I'm not going to do what this person's doing, and they're not. They have the proof is in the pudding, right? That's right. That's right. So, this continues to grow. This business, when I actually started working with it, and we got together, and she's like, hey, gotta hit the SAVP. I'm like, $3,000? Oh my gosh. I'm like, girl, I'm a single mom. Like, seriously, I don't have that extra. And she goes, no, you're already doing it anyway. So we sat down and we broke it down. I said, okay, I can pay rent with this. I can pay my phone bill with this. I'm already spending that money. I can absolutely do this. I hit it, right? And then we talked about hitting the challenges and all of that. And we kind of put that on the back burner, but we went into the 90-day fast track and the basic 5 checklist. So I was doing that checklist. I was like, nope, every single week, week in, week out, that's what I was doing. We did events. We built from event to event, okay? And I'm sitting here going blind. I'm just going, Lord, I hope this works, because I'm working my tail off. I'm doing my business, my regular business, and then I'm doing this business at night. And she said, okay. I said, Brandy, I trust you. And she was like, well, she goes, this is the 90-day fast track. Everything that you do in this 90 days, you're going to see it in the next 90 days.
Right.
I've never heard of anything like that before. I was like, okay, I trust you, working my tail off. It was so true. I mean, that business blossomed and blossomed, and it continues to blossom, and it continues to blossom. Now as my team do it, their teams continue to blossom and blossom and blossom and blossom. And it continues. I have never seen anything like this, to where you can leverage your time, you can leverage your talents, you can leverage your EV or business volume, okay? Because it's all 100% of 100%. It compresses the workload, okay? That's why it becomes a 2 to 3. It's a 2 to 3 year plan instead of a 45-year plan. I've never seen anything like it. So this week, okay, talking about time leverage, we went to conference. My team was there, okay? Woo-hoo! Because that leverage, it showed, and I mean, the belief, I mean, it's a lot of information, but the belief that happens there, and that's right. I mean, there's second to none. You cannot duplicate it. You cannot watch a video to get what we're getting. You understand? So I just want to encourage you, because I will never miss a conference, okay? I'd have to be on my deathbed to miss it, okay? Because it's so important. And what you do, a leader cannot lead, or a leader cannot go, or won't go, right? So I wanted to tell you that I got my tickets. Into the next level. And it truly makes it all worth it. I know when I first went to Miami, I was like, this is not, how do I do this? How do I make this happen? There was a lot of that going on because everything was uncertain. But the family that you have is wealth beyond measure. Okay? Wealth beyond measure. The connections and the mentors that you have is wealth beyond measure. Okay, so take the leap, believe, and it